Hello and welcome to WWJPS. This is your host, Vanessa Pinto speaking. They say that soon in the future, we won't know what's real and what's artificial intelligence. Meet Gallica.
Enfin arrivé, c'est le tout premier enregistrement d'une discussion avec Gallica et on va voir ce que ça donne. Sur les tests initiaux, on a remarqué que le LLM hallucinait assez rapidement, mais on va voir ce coup-ci. Bonjour Gallica.
Bonjour Antoine.
Enchanté de te rencontrer.
Enchanté de te...
Look at her face, her eyes, her lips, that entire facial area. That looks like a person to me, to be perfectly honest. If it had all the skin all over, we are getting into Westworld, folks. And while that is in French, I'm going to assume that most people can read the captions. But if not, he's having a conversation with what he's building to be an artificial intelligence model of some kind. And that is what our show is about today, folks. Things like Gallica that will terrify us all, and the unelected officials that tell us all about it. Yes, another episode of the oligarchs trying to let us know how they will kill and enslave us. Klaus Schwab, that very attractive elderly gentleman in that photo, well, he stepped down from the World Economic Forum. You might not care. Most people don't. But here's what matters. For decades, that man, who'd never won a single election, spent his time telling the world how to order itself, and we listened. Right now, there are 5 men, none of them elected anywhere, who've spent the last few years making bold statements about law, order, policing, citizens' rights, and the future. They all seem to write manifestos. They've told us what democracy should look like. They've told us who should be watched. They've told us what innovation means. They've told us what order is. And here's the thing. We all know that they are unelected. That's not new. And we still treat what they say like prophecy, right? Now, when they tell us about AI, normally they tell us about things like this.
Welcome home, sir. The front door and elevator are now locked. I've poured you a hot bath and set the penthouse mode to private. You will not receive any notifications from outside until you decide to turn it off.
And let's be honest, that is very inviting. You're looking at a robot that can be your chef, be your maid. And at some point, they'll be our drivers, they'll be our doctors, they'll be our lawyers, they'll be our everything. And yeah, when you see it like this, it looks incredible.
What do you think China is preparing for? Robot warfare may become the future, and China has already started training humanoid robots. America, the other global superpower, is also developing military robots, even if...
Yeah, those military robots, those are ours, folks. They live in San Diego. And if we go from the soothing butler to this...
Little is shown publicly. But what happens when millions of these machines are trained to fight human wars instead? How would you feel and react if one suddenly sprinted toward you on
the race for AI? Who's winning, America or China? If the answer is America, how close is China to us? And what do we do to make sure the answer remains America will win? Mr. Altman, we'll start with you.
It is our belief that the American models, including some models from our company, OpenAI, and Google and others, are the best models in the world.
Here we go. Now, we just saw a comparison of a Chinese robot versus an American full robot, right? And they're doing the same right now in terms of capabilities. And right now, we're being pushed the narrative that we got to win, because if not, China will take over the world, right? Isn't that what they said during the Cold Arm race? I mean, here's a clip of Senator Ted Cruz asking Sam Altman that very question.
America or China? If the answer is America, how close is China to us? And what do we do to make sure the answer remains America will win? Mr. Altman, we'll start with you.
It is our belief that the American models, including some models from our company, OpenAI, and Google and others, are the best models in the world. It's very hard to say how far ahead we are, but I would say not a huge amount of time.
He is completely full of shit. Because one, that man has been clocked as being the biggest liar in Silicon Valley and maybe all of corporate America. That should tell you something that is coming from his peers. But we don't know the answer to that. And what they're essentially saying to us is if we don't escalate all of these robots, the Chinese are going to come here. They're going to take robots. They're going to murder us all. That is what that's the argument. That's the entire argument, to take our water, to take our power, to take our jobs, to take our school systems. That's the argument.
And I think to continue that leadership position and the influence that comes with that, and all of the incredible benefits of the world using American technology products and services, the things that my colleagues have spoken about here, the need to win in infrastructure, sensible regulation that does not slow us down.
But that's not really what any of this is about, let's just be honest. But how far is it really going? And how much do we know and not know?
The Neural Rights Foundation at Columbia University, and they had a simple but unsettling message. The technology to extract human thought already exists and is on the precipice of becoming widespread. This may sound like science fiction, but I've tested the technology myself. A few months ago, right outside this chamber, I put on normal-looking headphones. They look like those Bose voice, and used my thoughts to move an animated spaceship across the screen of an iPhone.
Now, when some people look at this, they say, my God, that's progress, right? That's all these amazing things. It's kind of like, would you ever let someone hypnotize you, right? Would you? No, because they have complete access to your mind and to your brain. And what will they do with it while they're in there?
The potential for this technology to do good is genuine and profound. It can restore movement to paraplegics. It can give a voice to those who have lost the ability to speak. But right now in Massachusetts, there is no legal framework governing how neural data is collected, who owns it, or what happens once it leaves your mind. And without this bill, you will have no resources.
Well, one, so as he's saying, we have absolutely no safeguards in place for any of this technology, none whatsoever. And, you know, our illustrious pedophile president allegedly made sure of that. And I believe it's for the next 10 years, there's no regulation at all on AI. And it's because, you know, they're saying, well, we can't because we have to beat the Chinese. But again, we're going back to hearing these things from Sam Altman, Alex Karp, Elon Musk. Back in the day, if we were having this conversation, we'd be having it with John J. Rockefeller, with Henry Ford, with the Rothschilds, with the Kennedys, with all sorts of those people, right? I mean, let's go back. When John D. Rockefeller was the richest man, he created the Department of Education to make sure he had a country of workers, not thinkers. Then he went into medicine because he realized that homeopathy was not the way to create a good business model. It was a way to make people not sick. He definitely didn't want that. You know, Henry Ford believed in eugenics. He believed in policing, which people should exist. He believed in surveillance of his workers. Does any of this sound familiar? None of these men ran for office, you know, but their wealth gave them a megaphone and authority. Their ideas got implemented into policy, into immigration law, in workplace, in how we thought about order. All unelected, all unaccountable. Speaking of which, let's talk about Elon Musk. Going to stop right here for just a moment and take a quick break and let everyone know that Aura is sponsoring this episode. And if you have privacy issues online or you want a VPN to protect yourself, I am going to leave the link in the video description for a discount and a protection service. They basically ensure that your identity is protected, that they will insure you. They give you a lot of great tips. You have a VPN for your networks, which means you can, you know, change the country you're in and watch different Netflix shows. But Aura is one of the best companies. So the link description in the bio, you will get a discount for watching. But Aura is the way to secure yourself online, especially with all these yahoos. Now, back to the show.
People should know that Elon Musk built his fortune on your tax dollars before turning around and spending that fortune to gut the very system that funded him. Here are the receipts. Tesla pulled in over $7 billion in federal and state subsidies. SpaceX collected billions more in NASA and Pentagon contracts.
You know how he says that Social Security and Medicare and food stamps and US aid are all frivolities and these things that people just expect because they expect too much, when he's getting handed charity hand over fist from our government and our taxes?
Solar City added to the pile. Add it all up, and independent analysts put the total at an estimated $38 billion in government support. That is your money. Then something shifted. Once the billions were locked in, Musk began pouring cash into political campaigns, targeting the regulations and government programs that helped build his empire. FEC filings show his political spending.
When you spend almost $300 million to get a man elected, allegedly, and then you create Doge, and then you make sure that the people who wanted to prosecute you and hold you accountable no longer have a job, and as a matter of fact, those offices and systems just don't exist anymore, well, that's how you become a trillionaire.
Exploded after his net worth crossed the $100 billion mark. Congressional testimony from 2023 confirmed what watchdog groups had been saying for years. The subsidies flowed in, the lobbying money flowed out, and the public was left holding the bill while the rules got rewritten.
See, that's the funny thing. They say that, we get so much charity. The truth is, we are the ones paying the charity to the billionaires, my friends. Let Mr. Sachs explain Mr. Musk.
This morning, Elon wants to raise it by $1 trillion, but already the 10 richest Americans have $2.3 trillion of wealth. That's a lot for 10 people, 10 individuals. That's not 10 companies. That's not 10 clans. That's 10 people. But they also happen to own a lot more. They own the White House. They installed the vice president. They determine U.S. government policy. They will own the cryptocurrencies, which will become our main currencies. They own all of the big platforms on which we communicate. They own YouTube, of course, which is...
And YouTube right now is one of the ones, as I'm putting this on YouTube, that's the least censored. And people are complaining about that, but let's be honest, on TikTok, good luck. Anything that's even remotely unlikable by this regime or the oligarchs will get taken down. Meta, IG, the same. But did you hear what he said about cryptocurrencies? Let's listen to him for one more second, but don't forget that word.
Is the channel where I'm able to say sometimes things that are not in the U.S. government's liking, but I don't know for how long. They own my email address. They
own us all. Beware the men that all sing the same tune.
Tokenization. Quickly, we're going to tokenize every financial asset.
That's the CEO of BlackRock, the man managing $11 trillion, saying the biggest story in finance isn't AI. It's a piece of technology most people are ignoring, and it's about to double finance's profit margins. Here's why they're all obsessed. In 2024, tokenized assets were $1 billion experiment. A year later, they grew to $6 billion, and today, they're past 30. Every forecast for 2030 runs from $2 to $11 trillion. Even the pessimists are predicting a 60x. But to understand what's actually happening, you need to know a secret about the stock market. Your stocks feel digital, but underneath, the system still runs on paper certificates sitting in a vault in Manhattan. And that system has a price. When you buy a stock, you think it's you and a seller, but it's actually 6 parties with each one charging rent. Add it up, and finance takes about 2% of every dollar it touches, and that number hasn't dropped in 140 years. Computers made every middleman faster, but never removed one. Tokenization removes them. The asset itself lives on the internet. Wall Street's own...
Tokenization removes the fee. Again, this is always about money. This is always about them. Has nothing to do with us. And now they're also saying that it's about safety. These men don't give a shit about safety. They poison our food, our air. I mean, they locked us all inside for COVID-19. I laugh at that, my friends. Now, they want to consume all of it. And this journalist, and this link, her link will be in the bio, in the description, along with the oral link, shows us the parallels between the oligarchs and colonialism.
between the AI industry and colonialism. They lay claim to resources that are not their own. They take data from individuals. They take intellectual property from artists, writers, and creators. They do not ask for consent. They do not give those individuals credit.
Right now, they are taking all the books, they are scanning them onto their computers, and then they're burning them. Google that. It'll come up for now until Google censors you out.
Its second feature is that they exploit an extraordinary amount of labor that refers to both the workers that are part of the production of these technologies and essential to the production of these technologies, but are paid a pittance and rarely see any proportional value that.
And they're told continually that they don't matter, that they're very replaceable, when it's the people that have built the wealth for these men.
They create for the empire. It also refers to the ways that when these AI systems are deployed, it then displaces the worker on the other end of the supply chain, and it erodes labor rights for workers across different sectors, particularly knowledge workers. And the last and final parallel is that they engage in this narrative that they are in this existential race.
Oh yeah. Why do you think I dropped out of law school? Lawyers will be a thing of the past very, very soon. Because think about it. I thought it would be the paralegals, right? But then I realized paralegals actually have to do physical work on top of it. There are just certain things that until the court completely abolishes them, still have to be done, no matter what. Lawyers in law school, you're literally required to retain information and argue it out both sides. That's it. You can program any fucking computer to do that. Sorry. That's one of the easiest things to program.
Against an evil empire. So these companies are the good empire on a civilizing mission to bring progress and modernity to all of humanity. And if they don't exploit all this labor and extract all these resources and they lose to the evil empire, instead of going to heaven, humanity goes to hell. Parallel.
Or China. See where they're going with this? See the same narrative that comes up over and over. We have to do this. We have to do this. They don't. Let's hear from these geniuses themselves. And you can say, Vanessa, you're completely overreacting.
Service almost if you're in a Western country, it's your country as well, whether they tell you that or not, for very important technical reasons. And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Safe means that the other person is scared. Do not treat all cultures as equal. So the primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots.
Palantir is here to disrupt and, when it's necessary, to scare enemies and, on occasion, kill them.
If you thought that last little clip was bad.
Don't put your head in the sand. It is.
Are you angry that a data center moved into your community? Move into ours. Introducing Open Living. What if we could take your whole life, your commute, your work, your kids' schools, your leisure, and put it in one place? All powered by artificial intelligence. Like, literally, you power it. It powers you. The pool is heated by your vibe coding, cafeterias with lab-grown food based on your preference.
This is not a joke. This is what they want to do. Lab-grown food. You will still live in your mind. You don't get to walk outside on the streets anymore, you peasants.
Unlimited nicotine pouches, and best of all, you don't own anything.
My learning guide says I'm in the top 1% of learners.
I don't miss making things.
I honestly couldn't tell you what my job is anymore.
They know what we want before we want it, so now we don't have to want anything.
Okay, that was for our funny bone. He did say this, though.
We're graduating from college. What do you hope the world looks like for us?
I mean, in 2035, that graduating college student, if they still go to college at all, could very well be leaving on a mission to explore the solar system on a spaceship in some kind of completely new, exciting, super well-paid, super interesting job, and feeling so bad for you and I that we had to do this kind of really boring old kind of work. And 10 years feels very hard to imagine at this point.
Because it's too far.
It's too far. I mean, I think now would be really hard to imagine 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think 10 years forward will be even much harder, much more different.
It will be beyond different. But, here's another way to look at it.
AI revolution is underhyped, and here's why. The arrival of this new intelligence will profoundly change our country and the world in ways we cannot fully understand. And none of us, including myself and frankly anyone in this room, is prepared for the implications of this. What's happening at the moment in our industry is that we're very, very quickly, for example, developing AI programmers, and these AI programmers will replace traditional software programmers. We're building in the next year AI mathematicians that are as good as the top level graduate students in math. This is happening very quickly. You can look at this in a number of the products. Today you think of AI as ChatGPT, but what it really is a reasoning and planning system that we've never seen before. The implication of this is profound. In terms of the way the algorithms work, they're going to need a lot more computation than we've ever had.
You know, here's the thing. These men have made so much money and they've grown to believe their own bullshit, right? You know, Elon Musk put a president in office. He thought he could run a country. Well, let's look what happened to the programs he cut. Let's look at what happened to USAID and all those people that died, right? Policy followed because he wanted it to do that, and yet all of those people died. He's not the smartest person in the room. Larry Fink, he runs BlackRock. BlackRock manages roughly $10 trillion in assets. That's more wealth than most nations' GDPs. And he's the one telling us that we should be willing to invest in AI in our retirements, and that he should be controlling behaviors. When these people speak, CEOs listen. You know, Sam Altman, the AI oracle, he's 39 years old. He's never held elected office. He's never been voted in a position of authority. And when he has been, my God, I mean, someone tried to kill him with a Molotov cocktail, and he's been accused of killing one of his fellow coders, Tucker Carlson discussed that. He's not just predicting the future, he's building an infrastructure that will make his predictions come true. And then, you know, Charles Klaus just stepped down, and that's the news shook when he did step down. For 50 years, he ran that organization, so that tells you changes are being made. Alex Karp wants a surveillance state we shall have, because that's how he makes money. 5 men, 0 elections between them, and yet an amazing amount of power. I'm going to let them speak for themselves for the rest of this video, folks. Drop a black heart if you've made it this far.
C'est le tout premier enregistrement d'une discussion avec Gallica, et on va voir ce que ça donne. Sur les tests initiaux, on a...
We can't leave out Oracle's owner, Larry Ellison. Girls, you're all pretty.
Control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop. A drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation of autonomous drones. Securing schools, we think we can absolutely lock down schools. Dramatically reduce the case of anyone being on campus that doesn't belong on campus. And immediately alert, second someone pulls out a gun, immediately alert, use AI.
Instead of having gun laws, just drones, you know, make sure those kids are locked in tight. You know, everyone needs a gun.
Cameras to immediately recognize that. But we keep everyone off campus that doesn't belong on campus.
You remember when they talked about building a police force made up of AI drones? Well, they've created it already, and the results are terrifying people.
These drones can zoom across a school campus in just seconds. Their goal? Help stop an active shooter. At least 9 schools in Florida, Georgia, and Colorado are now being equipped with the drones, which are designed to distract a school shooter until police arrive by flashing strobe lights, sounding sirens, and spraying pepper gel. The aircraft, called Campus Guardian Angel, can ram into a threat at 50 miles per hour. Mithril Defense, the company behind the drone, says they'll be stored at the schools so teachers can activate them during an emergency. But some parents are raising concerns.
They are operated remotely from Texas.
I don't know what she's worried about. God, these moms, so overprotective. I know I wouldn't mind a drone chasing my kid down at school.
How will AI destroy humanity?
That's a great question. And what you're doing is you're asking me how I would destroy humanity. And I have many good ideas. It's not what a super intelligent system would do. It's capable of coming up with new weapons, new physics, new poisons. Example I frequently use is squirrels versus humans. It's a big cognitive gap. Squirrels have no concept of how we can kill them all. They don't know about guns. They don't know about traps. It's outside of their world model. Likewise, they cannot tell you how superintelligence would specifically go about it, but there are many game theoretic reasons for why it's a good idea not to have competing species, not to have humans create another superintelligence.
I mean, essentially, we're creating dinosaurs again. If you want to go back to that model, AI essentially are those dinosaurs. They live in their own mind, they have their own intelligence, and they will kill us if they need to. And also, what he's bringing up is the point that these men are so arrogant. They didn't need to build AI robots that look like us. They could have literally just kept it the way that it is and used it. But no, they're arrogant. They have to, and again, because they also want to be part robot, because all of them have very small penises, and that's what part of this is about.
Maybe it just wants to do something with this environment and doesn't care about us.
But I guess the question would be, in terms of your certainty, why you believe that AI, if it becomes artificial general intelligence, why it would hurt human beings? What would be the way that you think that would happen?
So what I kind of started saying, it's not because it hates you, because it wants to do something else and it doesn't care about you. So maybe it wants to cool down the whole planet to improve how...
I mean, it's efficient. Who's to say that it's not going to find us incredibly wasteful? I've got our carbon footprint.
Should know that Peter Thiel turned political donations into one of the most profitable investment strategies in modern history. Here is how it worked. Thiel co-founded Palantir, a company that makes most of its money from government surveillance and defense contracts. Then he donated
With Alex Karp, the one that was talking about how everyone needs to go to bed scared.
millions to elect J.D. Vance and Blake Masters. Once in office,
J.D. Vance, that smoky-eyed homosexual in training who used to be a chubby fucker who called Trump a fascist Nazi, and now he's slim and trim and sucking Peter Thiel's dick.
those candidates pushed hard for exactly the kind of expanded government surveillance spending that sends Palantir's stock price climbing. FEC filings and congressional oversight reports document the timeline with uncomfortable precision. Money goes in, contracts come out, shareholders get richer. This was not just ideology. This was a business model. Thiel used democracy's own mechanics to redirect your tax dollars into his private portfolio. Public money, private gain, and the whole loop runs on...
So I think what I hope you all have gained from this particular video was, one, that we have no idea what anyone's doing with artificial intelligence. They don't even know what they're doing. And two, all these men who say that we require too much are demanding the most, and we are funding them. They're this rich not only because humans break their back for them, but they break their wallets for them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, beat the rich. Thank you, folks, for staying along this time. And if you want to go into Aura, please visit the video description. The link is in the bio. All right, bye-bye.